So here again is my favorite arena so far, the draft domination mode. So as you just saw, that was my defense that I'm running just because no leadership skills or mods can take place. So by running double Cole on my defense, one of them is likely to taunt on the first turn. Herschel with his execution, revive, 100% heal reduction, and bleed is also helpful. Elodie because she has a stun when being attacked weapon, and she has hold the line, so she gets stronger the more other toons die. So now when I'm drafting my team, I kind of like going with Lily first because I always have a disarm toon. She has 100% heal reduction, can stun on attack, stun active skill. She just has a lot of control and can remove defense buffs. The next toon I picked was the Governor. I really like his control because he's able to prevent the enemy from rushing almost ever if you can attack the center toon. The next spot is a little tougher to decide on, and I feel like I might have gone with Bruce if I had a crit stun weapon, but I don't, and I already have a green disarm toon. So I'm thinking maybe Harrison, because his weapon has a disarm on his weapon. His rush heals my team as well as applies 2 sets of damage with 2 attacks. The next toon that I'm looking for, now I like Tobin because on a roll means that he gets more powerful the longer he's around type of thing. The more turns that passes, he gains more attack, and he has an absolute defense weapon as his auto weapon. The last toon I pick is Mia because she's like a safe toon. She has pointed maim damage, so she can take out one toon at a time. She can revive both with her rush and her active skill, so it just gives a lot of options. Now, here I actually use the Governor wrong. I should use his rush at the very end after I attack, and I realized that kind of after I finish this round of arenas. So that's my bad actually, and the reason why I should do that is because I'm giving away AP when I attack. So if I use his slow after I attack, then all their AP, the AP costs increase from that point, if that makes sense. So instead of them being, 30 for 60 and then all of a sudden I max them out to 60 for 60, they could get commanded the next turn type of thing. So it was just, it's a bad move on my part. So on a team like this, it's kind of a attacking team that I'm facing, but with Zachary, he's kind of the anchor of it. So Zachary, I think, is one of those standalone toons that you could use on any team, especially in arenas, because his flat maim damage is 1000. He can heal himself completely and recovers all penalties from his teammates. And then his Hemo Bleed is really effective because there are so few toons that recover from bleed that I've seen in arenas that, he'd be awesome for it. And then also he has an active stun for 4 turns, I think. So as you see here, I'm not having a lot of difficulty with most of these teams so far. And I love how Tobin buffs himself, because it just means I don't need to use a toon that does attack up or defense down. Same with maim damage from Mia or Zach, or I can't even remember another maim toon right now. Regina, for instance. You just have a lot of options when you use maim. Now, something else I didn't notice. We get now 5 attacks in arenas, which is helpful. And if I had planned this out better, because I just assumed we had 4 attacks, I probably would have scored a few more points, but nothing I can do about that now. This team's kind of like a ragtag team when you see Gator and Dwayne in it, and it makes me think that it was just an auto team that generated. But the 2 Negans, of course, prevents me from really rushing, say, with Tobin. But I can rush with Mia in order to take out, Gator, or try to take out Pete or Dwayne. And I'm pretty sure in this match, right here I ended up taking out Gator with 1 attack, but I'm pretty sure in this match Pete ends up going off, and then I kind of have to start all over again with taking down these toons one at a time. I can't remember if this is the match where I actually lose a toon, so I've lost out on some points because I was not able to bring them back. And you know what? That was my fault. I should have planned for this a bit better, but I made a mistake, obviously. and it doesn't help that the governor got impaired. So I recovered his impair here. And the only reason he got impaired was because I wasn't really paying attention. Negans can impair on attack, which is pretty effective in my opinion, on teams like this, or in the arena at least, because in this case, mods and leadership skills don't play into the game at all. So it just lets you run a bit more of an interesting team. With no mods, there's no way to resist certain effects. So that's why I think MAME is super effective. It's why I think, using weapons that are unsafe are very effective as well. Because say if they attack my Mia, she has a stun gun. If you attack her, you're likely to be stunned, and you have to wait for an active skill or rush in order to become unstunned, or you just have to wait out the stun itself. So with arenas, I feel like you really do have to focus on using control, because you're going to be facing a variety of different teams with a mismatch of other tunes that you might not be familiar using. Like, I don't have any of these tunes on my team except for Lily. And the reason why I go to Lily is because as a disarm tune, she is so important, especially if the enemy runs an unsafe team. If they run a team that has like all stun weapons or absolute defense, there'd be almost no way I could get through them without being able to disarm them. So thankfully, I'm able to do that both with Harrison and with Lily. On Harrison, it's on his weapon on attack, so it's slightly different. And again, I wasn't able to control Pete, and it's a little frustrating to me because I know I can. It's just I haven't, and now it's taking forever to really beat this team. The one good thing, I guess, is that it's not a time-based thing. I'm sure there is a way to time out, but it's not like War where you'll be in a lot of trouble if you take longer than, say, 30 to 45 seconds to attack someone. So here I really do have to focus on taking Pete out. I was kind of hoping that Pete would give a Guardian Shield to both the Negans, because then I could use Tobin's Rush, for instance, without fear of payback, because I don't have a Guardian tune. And if that payback hits Mia, for instance, and she's dead, then it's very difficult to recover from that. Well, there's no way to actually recover from it, obviously, because there's no one else who can revive my other tunes. So it's a bit of a tricky team to run, in my opinion. Like, I like when I can put in the yellow Rick, who has Guardian 2, Active Revive, can taunt. I think he's a very solid tune that lets you do multiple things. And here I'm getting close to timing out because it's taking me so dang long, and I had to rush, which is unfortunate because it ended up killing 3 of my tunes. And now it's 3-on-1, so I shouldn't have any issues, but it is a little bothersome because I just lost out on, I don't know how many points, I'm not sure exactly how it scales, but I lost out on enough points that I probably won't be in first for this one. But I'll probably do another attack because, as I mentioned, as a free-to-play player, it's easier in domination mode to do well, because without it being cumulative points, all you need to do is be able to bring in a strong team and, of course, get a little lucky. But thankfully, Scopely has expanded the number of players that you can actually attack. So this means you have more variety, and you can pick and really choose who you want to attack. So for some of the, quote, top-end players, they're able to pick the top 5 teams that have the most number of points to acquire. Meanwhile, some other players who might just be looking for 5 wins, they're able to pick people who are more their size. And I really like that adjustment, same as the 5 attacks that you now get per ticket. Because now it just means that your player's engaged for a bit longer and you have a larger multiplier, and it really tests your knowledge of tunes now, I feel, because you have to use a mishmash of different tunes that you don't have any idea who's going to show up next, but based on the teams that you see that you're going to be against, you have to make a smart decision on what tunes to bring in, and it really tests not only your team building, but your raiding abilities, in my opinion. So again, the reason why I went with the tunes that I did, I really like Lily as a disarm tune, and she brings enough control. Mia is an anchor of a tune. She can maim one tune to death on her rush, as well as revive, and her active skills also revive with her outlast. The governor can control the enemy by constantly causing slow. Harrison has a disarm on attack weapon, and then his rush is pretty decent, multiple attacks, confuse active skill. Tobin can stun recover with his active skill. His rush will hit 2 characters. His basic attacks become super powerful because of his on a roll, and his weapon is absolute defense as a default. So it basically keeps him safe if someone tries to basic attack him, so you don't really need a human shield as much, in my opinion. The biggest downside, I think, to the team that I'm running is that I don't have a turn 1 control. So like if someone ran a human shield off to the side, it would be difficult for me on turn 2 in order to stop fast rushing teams. But overall, I had 5 successful attacks, and currently I'm in first, so I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you for watching and listening to my video. I hope you found this to be informative and helpful in draft of the arenas.